The more you chase her, the more she realizes she can run, and you'll still follow. Let that sink in. My friends, we've been lied to, told that being persistent is romantic, that texting her every morning, calling her every night, asking how her lunch was, somehow makes you a man she'll never leave. But here's the truth. It doesn't make you romantic. It makes you predictable. And in the world of attraction, predictability kills desire. Now stay with me, because I want you to imagine this. Picture a butterfly. Beautiful, delicate, rare. You see it land on your hand, and what do most people do? They grip it. They try to hold it tightly, and the moment they do, it dies. That's what happens when you try to hold on too tightly to someone who was meant to come to you freely. The tighter you cling, the faster they fly away. Hey folks, I know it hurts. I know it's confusing. You were just trying to show her you care. You thought if you proved your loyalty, your effort, your good heart, she'd love you back. But here's the kicker. Love isn't earned by overgiving. It's awakened by your presence and preserved by your absence. That's the secret nobody told you. You don't make her want you by being everywhere. You make her miss you by not being anywhere she expects. People don't value what's always available. They chase what they feel they might lose. That's human nature. Even Marcus Aurelius said, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." And constantly reaching out to someone who isn't reaching back, that's not right, and it's not true to you. So today, we flip the script. You don't chase anymore. You don't over-explain. You don't beg to be seen. You reclaim your silence. You sit in your strength, and you let her feel the space where you used to be. Write this in the comments. I choose silence. Because from now on, your distance isn't weakness. It's your superpower. And trust me, this is just the beginning. Stay with me. Number 1, the trap of over-attention. When you hand someone your heart too early, don't be surprised when they drop it. They were never ready to carry it. Let's be real for a second, folks. Most of us have been there. You meet someone who knocks the air right out of your chest. She's smart, beautiful, and when she smiles, it feels like the world slows down for a moment. And suddenly, you find yourself texting her first thing in the morning, replying to every message like your life depends on it, constantly asking how her day is going, if she's eaten, if she's okay. You're not trying to smother her. You're trying to show her that you're present, that you care, that you're one of the good ones. But somewhere along the way, the warmth in her messages starts to cool. The replies get shorter. The emojis disappear. And you're left wondering, what the hell went wrong? Let me hit you with the truth, and it might sting a little. You gave her too much of you, too fast. Imagine offering someone a plate of gold every single day. No break, no pause. Eventually, they'll stop seeing gold. They'll just see a plate, and that's what happened, my friend. You became the plate. See, there's this fear that creeps into a man's mind. If I don't show her enough attention, she'll lose interest. But here's the lie. It's not your job to maintain her interest. It's your job to maintain your worth. And ironically, the moment you start trying too hard to keep her attention is the same moment you start losing her respect. The mind wants what it doesn't fully understand. The heart aches for what it can't fully grasp. But when you give it all away, when you lay yourself bare too soon, you kill the curiosity, you kill the chase. You become emotionally naked in a room she wasn't ready to walk into yet. Let me ask you something. Have you ever seen a lion chase a gazelle in slow motion on a nature show? The lion isn't frantic. He doesn't scream. He doesn't beg. He waits. He watches. He paces with power. That's not just nature, it's masculine energy, controlled, reserved, strategic. But here you are, sprinting after her emotionally before she's even turned around to see who you are. You might be thinking, but what if she moves on? And I get that fear. It's real. But let me say this. If your presence wasn't enough to make her stay, your over-attention won't be either. In fact, that desperation becomes the reason she runs. It flips the power dynamic. You become the follower, and attraction doesn't flow toward neediness. It flows toward confidence. As the great Seneca once said, he suffers more than necessary who suffers before it is necessary. And many of you are suffering over women who haven't even left yet, simply because you're too afraid of the silence. But silence, my friend, is where power grows. Silence is not your enemy, it's your reset button. You've been taught that love equals effort, that the more you give, the more you'll get. But that's not love. That's transaction, and you're not a vending machine. You're a man with depth, with presence, with energy that deserves to be honored, not consumed. So, what do you do now? You pull back, not out of spite, but out of self-respect. You stop offering your heart like a coupon. You stop texting first just to fill the quiet. You let the quiet speak for itself. And in that stillness, she will either step forward or reveal that she was never really with you to begin with. Either way, you win, because the man who values himself never loses. He only learns. So here's what I want you to comment below. I protect my presence. Say it loud. Say it proud. Say it for the version of you that gave too much, too fast, and got left holding the silence. Show them. Show yourself. Show the world around you that from this moment forward, you are no longer chasing. You are choosing. And stay with me, because what I'm about to reveal next might just flip the entire game. Number 2, the flame needs air, not oxygen masks. Love doesn't die from a lack of attention. It dies from being smothered by it. Let's break this down with no fluff, my friends. You see, attraction is like fire. And what does fire need to burn? It needs space. It needs air. It needs oxygen. But too many of you are out here with oxygen masks, trying to breathe life into something that just needed a little distance to breathe on its own. You're trying to force a flame by standing too close, then wondering why it dies in your hands. Let me paint you a picture. Imagine you're sitting in a dark room, cold. You light a candle. That little flame starts glowing. It flickers, it dances, and it's beautiful. But now imagine you get scared that it'll go out. So you put your hand right over it. You try to protect it, to keep it close. But instead, what happens? You kill it. You suffocate it. Not because you didn't care, but because you cared too much, too soon, too fast. That's what many of you are doing when you blow up her phone, when you check in constantly, when you try to show her you care every single day. You're not building a connection, you're suffocating a spark. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking, but I'm just being nice. I'm just showing effort. Isn't that what women want? And here's the hard truth. They don't want effort. They want energy. Energy that is powerful, grounded, steady, not scattered, not desperate, not needy. The kind of energy that says, I'm here, but I'm not begging to be seen. Because when you constantly show up, when you constantly initiate, you create a lopsided dynamic. It's like playing catch by yourself. You're throwing the ball over and over, but she's not throwing it back. And instead of realizing you're in a one-sided game, you just keep tossing harder. That's not romance. That's chasing validation dressed up as devotion. Even the strongest fire dies when there's no room to breathe. Now listen, this isn't about disappearing. This isn't about ghosting. It's about balance. It's about stepping back enough to allow space for her desire to come alive. Because here's the truth, distance doesn't kill attraction. It exposes it. If she's into you, she'll come forward when you step back. If she's not, your silence will be met with silence. And that's not rejection. That's redirection. It's life showing you where not to pour your flame. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be one. And a good man doesn't chase like a boy afraid of losing his toy. He stands, he leads, he holds space. He knows that the right person won't need to be chased. They'll feel drawn." It's difficult, I know. Every part of your heart might want to reach out, to fix it, to explain, to reassure. But here's where you rise, because that voice telling you to send one more message, that's not strength, it's fear. And fear will have you burning yourself out just to keep someone else warm. The most dangerous thing you can do in a connection is try to force momentum. Let it breathe. Let her miss you. Let her wonder what happened to the man who always used to show up. Let her feel the void where you used to be. And if she truly cared, that void will echo so loud it'll pull her back in. And if it doesn't, you didn't lose her. You found your dignity. So here's what I want you to write in the comments. I let the flame breathe. Say it and mean it. Say it because you're done holding candles for people who bring wind. Say it because you've realized that your silence is not weakness, it's wisdom. Say it because from now on, your energy will not be given where it is not returned. You are the fire, you are the warmth, and your presence is the light, not the fuel. Stay with me, because next we're about to uncover why the rarest version of you is the most irresistible. Number 3, the scarcity principle in love. People don't chase what's always there, they chase what might not be there tomorrow. Let's get brutally honest, my friends. You've been making yourself too available, too easy, too constant, and in the process, you've made yourself forgettable, not because you're not valuable, but because you've handed your presence out like free samples in a grocery store aisle. And here's the cold, hard truth. What's always available loses its value fast. It's human nature. We crave what's limited. We want what we think we could lose. That's not a flaw, it's psychology. It's called the scarcity principle. And whether it's luxury watches, sold-out concerts, or that one person who pulled away just enough to stay on your mind, the less accessible something is, the more it haunts our desire. Now think about this. Have you ever wondered why people get more obsessed with someone once they stop trying? Why they suddenly want the person who stopped texting, who started showing less interest, who began focusing on themselves? It's not just mystery, it's scarcity. You become rare, and rare things, they get remembered. You've been operating like you're on clearance, always around, always replying, always ready, and you're wondering why she's no longer curious. Let me tell you why. There's nothing to discover. You gave her the map, the destination, and a full guided tour in the first week. No wonder she lost interest. There's no mountain left to climb, no treasure to uncover, no chapters to turn. Folks, imagine this with me. There's a vending machine on every corner, cheap snacks, fast service, convenient. But now, picture a hidden speakeasy bar behind an old bookshelf, only open for a few hours a week. You need a password just to get in. Which one excites you more? That's how you need to think about your energy. You're not a vending machine, you're the vault that not everyone gets access to. And let's address the fear, because I know what some of you are thinking. But if I don't stay consistent, won't she forget me? No, if she forgets you that quickly, she was never invested to begin with. And if she does start to wonder why your energy shifted, that's the point. That's when the game changes. That's when her curiosity kicks in and she starts wondering, why isn't he texting me like before? And that question, my friend, is the spark that reignites the chase. You see, effort is good, but overexposure is deadly. You shouldn't be texting her 24/7. You shouldn't be free every time she calls. You shouldn't be updating her on your every move like she's your boss. You are not an open book. You are a story worth unfolding slowly, page by page. Even Epictetus said, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." In love, the same is true. Don't be the man who needs her to breathe. Be the man who breathes deeply, even in her silence. That's what makes you powerful. Here's the flip. You don't make yourself rare by acting. You make yourself rare by being, by living a life that actually excites you, by building your body, your business, your mind, by filling your days with purpose, not performance. And when she sees that you're not always available, she starts wondering who's getting your time. She starts imagining what you're doing. And that mystery, that space, that silence, it's magnetic. Don't confuse distance with disinterest. You can still care, you can still reach out, but only when it's aligned, not when it's convenient for her or when your self-worth is crumbling. Because every time you respond too fast, say yes too easily, or give without question, you're teaching her to expect you, not to appreciate you. So let's flip this energy right now. Write it in the comments. I am rare. Say it with your chest. Say it for the man you used to be, the one who overgave, who overshared, who stayed too long when he should have stepped back. Say it because today marks a shift. You are no longer accessible to those who haven't earned it. You are no longer a convenience. You are a privilege. And stay with me, because in the next section, we're about to unlock the psychological effect that makes your silence stick in her mind like a song she can't turn off. Number 4. Distance creates mystery, and mystery creates desire. It's not what you say that makes them obsessed, it's what you don't explain. Let that hit. Because some of you are still talking too much, still texting too much, still explaining, chasing, proving, and that's why she's pulling away. Not because you're not good enough, but because you've become too easy to figure out. You've made the mistake of removing all the mystery, and now, my friend, you're no longer a story, just a spoiler. Here's the truth. People don't get addicted to answers. They get addicted to questions, to uncertainty, to that itch in the brain that says, wait, what just happened? And when you give her every detail of your thoughts, every second of your attention, every inch of your presence, you leave nothing for her to wonder about. No emotional cliffhanger, no tension, no spark. And desire? It dies in the absence of mystery. Now imagine this. You're watching a show on Netflix. First few episodes? Fire. You're hooked. But by the 4th episode, the villain reveals their entire plan. The ending gets spoiled, and every character says exactly what they're feeling at all times. No twists, no tension, no reason to keep watching. Would you stay interested, or would you scroll to something more mysterious? That's what happens in dating when you overshare, over-communicate, and over-appear. You've given her every scene, every line, every angle. There's no reason left to lean in because you've already leaned in too far. Let's talk psychology for a second. There's a powerful little phenomenon called the Zeigarnik effect. It basically says that the human brain remembers incomplete tasks better than completed ones. In other words, we obsess over what isn't finished. When you suddenly stop texting good morning, when your replies get a little slower, when your attention stops flowing like a faucet, you leave an emotional loop open in her mind. And that loop, it starts buzzing like a loose wire. She'll feel it, even if she doesn't understand it. She'll start asking herself, did I do something wrong? Is he losing interest? Why isn't he texting me like before? And those questions become obsession. You didn't ghost her, you didn't block her, you didn't act cold. You simply pulled back just enough to let her feel the absence. And it's in that absence where mystery blooms. She starts scrolling through old texts, replaying old calls, wondering if she missed something. She starts to feel the weight of your silence, and that weight creates desire. But here's where most guys mess this up. They think, cool, I'll just stop texting for a few days and she'll come crawling. Nah, buddy, that's not mystery, that's manipulation. And women are intuitive. They'll feel when your distance is a trick. You don't build mystery by faking absence. You build it by living fully in your presence without needing her to see it. You see, mystery isn't about hiding who you are. It's about revealing it slowly. You don't need to spill your life story on the first date. You don't need to explain every emotion in real time. Let her ask. Let her wonder. Let her try to figure you out. That's where the connection deepens, not in your constant updates, but in her curiosity. And let me remind you, you are not boring. You are just too exposed. Your energy is fire, but you've been burning too bright, too fast, for too long. And now it's time to dim the light just enough. So she starts leaning in. So here's what I want you to write in the comments. My silence speaks. Say it, because from now on, you don't chase clarity. You become the question. You don't rush to explain. You let her feel it. You don't panic in the pause. You own it. Because every time you resist the urge to reach out, to overtalk, to overprove, you're building intrigue. And intrigue is magnetic. Stay with me, because in the next section, we're going even deeper. You're about to learn why the moment you stop chasing is the exact moment she starts feeling the void. And once she feels that, the game changes forever. Number 5, don't chase. Let her feel the void. The moment you stop chasing is the moment she starts looking back. Let that one settle in, my friends, because some of you have been running after someone who was never standing still to begin with. You've been chasing validation, chasing answers, chasing a version of her that existed only in the beginning, and somewhere along the line, you forgot that you were never supposed to chase in the first place. See, when a woman pulls away, most men panic. They feel the silence like a slap. They take the pause personally, and instead of holding their ground, they run harder. They text more, call more, apologize for things that weren't even wrong. They turn into emotional beggars, handing out affection like coupons, hoping it'll buy them back the closeness they once had. But let me tell you something, chasing is rooted in fear, not strength, and fear will always betray your value. Now picture this. You're standing in a field, holding a kite. At first, the wind carries it perfectly. It soars, it dances, it's beautiful. But then the wind shifts. The string starts pulling, and instead of letting it move with nature, you run after it. Faster, desperately, until you trip, fall, and watch it get tangled in a tree. Not because you didn't care, but because you couldn't accept the pause. And that's what chasing does. It destroys the beauty of what once flowed freely. Let me ask you this. Why are you chasing someone who already knows where to find you? Why are you proving yourself to someone who stopped paying attention? Do you think she doesn't see your messages? Do you think your efforts haven't been noticed? They have. She knows. And still, she's distant. That's not confusion. That's her decision. And guess what? She can't feel your absence. If you never leave, you need to understand the power of the void, the silence, the gap, that sacred space where she used to hear from you. Feel your presence. Expect your energy. When you stop filling that space, something strange happens. She starts hearing echoes. Echoes of your voice, your care, your attention, and that space you left behind. It becomes a mirror that reflects what she took for granted. The truth is, people only appreciate what they can't immediately replace. And if you're always there, always reaching out, always available, you teach her that she doesn't need to earn your presence. She just needs to expect it. And the second you stop meeting that expectation, the whole illusion collapses. Let me give it to you straight. If she pulled back, let her. Let her feel the distance. Let her sit in the space you once occupied. Let her scroll through your texts and wonder why they suddenly stopped. That wondering, that uneasiness, that's the void working in your favor. That's the moment she starts feeling something she never expected, your absence. But you have to be strong, because everything in you will want to break the silence. You'll want to fix it, clarify it. Just send one more "hope you're okay" message. But every time you do that, you patch up the very hole that was teaching her your value. Seneca said it best: "No man is more unhappy than he who never faces adversity, for he is not permitted to prove himself." And this silence, this waiting, this uncertainty, it's your adversity, it's your test. It's the moment where boys break and men build. Let her feel the void, not as punishment, not as a game, but as a natural response to distance. Don't try to control how she reacts. Don't hope for the perfect moment she'll come back. Just be still, be quiet, be grounded, and focus on what the void gives you. Time to reflect, time to build, time to remember who you were before you made her your entire emotional routine. Because if she comes back, she won't be coming back to the man who begged. She'll be coming back to the man who rose in the silence. So write this in the comments right now. I hold the void. Say it for your dignity. Say it for your future self. Say it because you're done patching holes in sinking ships. Say it because you finally get it. Chasing gets you ignored, but space gets you remembered. And stay with me, because next we're going to unlock the most magnetic move of all, building a life so full that her absence doesn't even echo. Number 6. Build a life that doesn't revolve around her. When she becomes the center of your world, you lose the gravity that once pulled her in. Let's bring it home, my friends, because this right here, this is the shift, the move that turns the game completely. You've pulled back, you've embraced the silence, you've let her feel the void. But now comes the part that separates the ones who wait from the ones who win. And it's simple. You stop living for her and start building for you. Listen closely. You can't just sit in the shadows hoping she misses you while doing nothing with your life. That's not power. That's just quiet desperation. That's pretending to be rare while still being emotionally available in your heart. That's not mystery. That's just absence. And people don't chase absence. They chase evolution. You see, the most magnetic thing you can do is become a man she wouldn't even recognize anymore. Let me ask you something. What happens if she checks your profile next week? What will she see? The same guy, same habits, same energy, same passive routine? Or will she see something that stings a little because it proves you didn't need her to rise? That's where the shift happens. That's where the regret begins. When the life she used to be the center of no longer revolves around her at all. Imagine a planet orbiting a sun. Now picture that sun dimming itself to keep the planet from drifting away. Sounds noble, right? But it's a mistake, because when the sun stops burning, it stops being what the planet needs to revolve around in the first place. You are that sun, and if you dim yourself for too long, she forgets your light. So what do? You rise again. You rebuild your mornings. You train your body, not for her gaze, but for your greatness. You reconnect with your brothers, your passions, your mission. You pick up books that sharpen you. You chase goals that fulfill you. You create systems that make you harder to access, because that's where the real scarcity lives, not in your silence, but in your evolution. And don't get it twisted. This isn't about showing off. This isn't about flaunting your new life to make her jealous. This is about reclaiming what you lost when you made her your entire focus, your identity, your source of happiness. That was never her job to begin with. It was yours. You thought being emotionally available would make her feel secure. You thought texting good morning every day and being there on demand would earn you a permanent place in her world. But what you didn't realize was this. She was never looking for someone to orbit her. She was drawn to your light when you were the center of your own universe. Let's be real. The man who texts her all day and waits for replies, he's common. But the man who doesn't even check his phone because he's building something, he's rare. And what's rare gets remembered, gets respected, gets missed. I know it's not easy. It takes discipline to pull your energy back. It takes self-control to stop checking if she's watched your story, liked your post, or thought about you today. But every second you don't give in to that impulse. That's you shifting from emotional dependence to emotional leadership. That's you turning from a man who waits to a man who builds. Marcus Aurelius said, "A man's worth is no greater than the worth of his ambitions." So let me ask you, what's yours? Are you building a life that demands respect? Are you waking up with purpose or just pacing around in the fog of what could have been? Because I promise you, when you start moving like a man with vision, she will feel it, even in your silence. And here's the twist. Maybe she doesn't come back. Maybe your distance doesn't draw her in. Maybe your growth doesn't shake her world. So what? You didn't build all this just for her to notice. You built it because you finally did for yourself what no one else was going to do for you. Let her scroll and feel the silence. Let her wonder what happened. Let her replay it all in her mind. But don't stop. Keep building, keep expanding, keep walking forward so far into your power that even if she did come running, she'd have to evolve just to meet you at the next level. So write this one in the comments right now. I build, I rise, I lead. Say it for the version of you that gave his time away too easily. Say it for the future you who doesn't wait for closure or validation to move. Say it because this isn't just about attraction anymore. It's about ascension. And if this message hit you deep, then press the like button, subscribe to this channel, and stay locked in. Because from this day forward, you're not just reclaiming distance, you're reclaiming your identity. The game doesn't start when she comes back. It starts now. You've got this.